We have a multi-question exercise here. First part wants us to find the domain. So we know that the domain is all of our x values. So you're going to ask yourself, how far to the right and how far to the left does this graph go? And the answer, if you don't see any restrictions or if you don't know any different, the domain is going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay, we're going to assume it's all real numbers. And this graph never stops going to the right. Even though it's going up, it's still going to the right. So as far as I go to the right, I will be able to look up and find a value. Same thing, as far as I go to the left, I'll be able to look up and find a value. All right, so what is the range? Now the range is all of your y values. So you'll notice that the graph does not go down here. I don't have any graph down here. So if I'm looking for a graph and I start going up, where do I first see a graph? Right here. Okay, and since it's all my y values, I want to know what this is right there, and that is 2. Okay, so I would have graph at 2. So my range, interval notation, starts at 2. And does it ever stop going up? No, it never stops going up. So this would be 2 to infinity. Infinity always gets a parenthesis. And 2, is 2 included? Is there a point at 2? Yes, there is. So then I'm going to put one of those. Okay, so not a parenthesis, but a bracket. All right, next question. X-intercepts. If there are any x-intercepts, and in this case, are there any x-intercepts, does this graph touch the x-axis? It does not. So I'm going to put none. There are no x-intercepts. What about y-intercepts? Does this graph touch the y-axis? And yes, it does. Let me get a different color. Let's go for pink. It does. It touches the y-axis right here. Okay, and what is that point? 1, 2, 3, 4. So my y-intercept is 4. They may want it as an ordered pair. Okay, so hey class, how do you find a y-intercept? You plug in a 0 for x. We'd have 4 for y. Or it may just ask for 4. Okay, kind of depends on your software, your teacher. And then the last two are evaluating questions. So what is the f of 0? And if I remember that this in here is my x. Okay, so the f of 0, 0 is your x value, and you want to give them the y value. So if x is 0, that's going to be right here. I look up. I find my y value is 4. We already knew that because that's the y-intercept. When x is 0, y is 4. And then we're going to evaluate what is the f of 4 from the graph. Know that 4 is the x part. And if I'm on the x-axis and I hop over to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, where's the graph? It's up here also at 4. Okay, that's fine. You can have that happen. All right. Smiley face.